Well, this is a drastic improvement over what I looked like before I put the filter on. So there's that. I'm going to tell you a story about dating today. Dating at 40, which is a nightmare. Worse than dating at any other age, I swear, is dating at 40. Last weekend, I went out on a couple of dates, which is unusual for me. Usually I don't stack dates like that. I went on a date on Friday night with a guy who was really sweet, but there's no potential there. He is still married, separated, but that's not something I want to get myself into. Because who knows, maybe she comes back and he's like, I love you and I want to make us work out. So no, he was really nice. We had a nice time. That was it. Haven't heard from him since. I think he got the picture. Saturday, I went out with another guy who I had spoken to, and we had planned on having coffee and then going for a walk and then getting lunch somewhere. That's a lot for me. Usually on a first date, I like to just have something super low-key and casual so I can get out if I'm not enjoying myself. So we got coffee, took a long walk, and we went to lunch. I thought it was going really well. I thought we were hitting it off. He was making a lot of eye contact with me, seemed really interested. We were talking about things like common goals and ideals and morals, and we all seemed to be on the same page. It was working out pretty well, even though I lost my contact at lunch and had to see him basically through one eye the whole time. The next day he called me and asked me to go out this coming Friday. So between Sunday and now, we texted maybe like once a day. He was always the one who initiated it. Okay? Even just to say something dumb like, how's your coffee today, or whatever, like something stupid like that. And then a few days ago, because a lot of you who know me know that I'm into perfume, so I was organizing my perfume and I was like, oh, hey, by the way, what do you like to smell on a woman? Right? Not even thinking anything about it because that's not serious to me. And then yesterday I cooked dinner and sent him a picture of it. And I said, maybe I'll cook it for you sometime, after he told me it looked good. He then calls me and says, this is moving way too fast. You can understand, I was seriously gobsmacked. Way too fast. We've been on one date. We've exchanged a handful of texts. Every communication was pretty much initiated by him. And he's the one who kissed me after our first date, by the way. So here I am thinking to myself, like, are there any men out there who are not flakes? Honestly. Thinking that going on one date where you initiated the kiss and told me, I really hope we can continue this, and then you continue communicating with me, and then I say something about maybe making dinner for you sometime and asking you what perfume you'd like me to wear on our date, and you tell me it's moving too fast. Come on, dude, grow up. You're not ready for a relationship.
Students are always so concerned when they find out that I'm single. One little girl, she found out that I'm not married and said, oh, I can introduce you to my bus driver. I mean, at first I was like, no thanks, but then I thought about it, and it's like, well, I mean, he has a job and a driver's license. Guess it wouldn't hurt for me to raise the bar.
Well, there's no such thing as relationships anymore, apparently. It's all just hooking out, friends with benefits, and never-ending talking stages. It's not at all what it used to be. Like, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby and the baby carriage. No. It is first comes sex, then comes ghosting, then comes emotional trauma and trust issues. And then everybody does the opposite of what you're supposed to. So if they like someone, they don't tell them. If they want to be with them, they act like they don't. Everybody wants what they can't have, but then when they have it, they don't appreciate it, so they lose it. So then they'll fight to get it back, and then when they get it back, they don't really want it because they didn't really want it anyway. They just wanted to get it back but not really have it. You feel me?
I'm going to start posting TikTok videos of my after 40 dating experiences. This shit is fucked up. You are not going to believe some of this stuff. Unbelievable. So, first story, here we go. Been seeing a guy for about 3 weeks, texting on a regular basis, every day, hanging out, great times, great conversations, and then no text messages, nothing for like 24 hours. So I'm freaking out. I care. I'm reaching out. Nothing. No response. Until this morning. And then a phone call that tells me that he was getting death threats because he looked up call girls online and decided that, you know, he was just curious to see if call girls still existed. So he was conversing with someone. They wanted money, of course, and to run a background check on him to make sure he's not a cop. Okay. And then he decides, no, this isn't for me. I was just curious. So he says, no, thank you. And then gets death threats from somebody texting him saying, you wasted my girl's time and all this shit. That's the story I get this morning. I left Saturday and he said, text me when you get home, which I always do. And he responds to my text messages after I send him a message that say, I'm home. Nothing. No response when I got home Saturday. And now this. I can't make this shit up. I'm telling you, I can't make this shit up. If you don't want to see me again, fine. Just tell me. What the fuck? What? Huh? I'm not. Don't know. That's one of my stories. Stay tuned for more. Oh, I've got more. I could write a book.
So I made something and I have been encouraged to share this with the world. So I'm going to share this. I am 42 and I am still single. However, I would love to meet someone and get married and have a baby still. However, it has proven very difficult to find somebody that's serious and meets my standards. And in an effort to help me weed out the wrong people early on, I decided to start using my marketing skills. So I am a marketing manager professionally, and I decided to make a marketing plan to find a man. Hear me out. So what I did was I took a combination of just traditional marketing methods and combined it with account-based marketing, which is something else that I do. So with account-based marketing, you have an ideal customer profile. Well, I made my ideal boyfriend profile. And I have all the points that go with each of the criteria that I look for in my IBP. And I have it listed as required and nice to have. And then beneath that, I even have a spot for deductions. So once we meet in person, things that can knock your points down really quick. And then going back to more traditional marketing methods, I'm putting them through various stages, such as like a prospect, a lead, nurture, BQL scoring. So it's a boyfriend qualified lead. And now they're being scored. So we got the BQL scoring. Then we have BQL, meaning they're a boyfriend qualified lead. We have an opportunity. We have closed won and closed lost. So I am going to just share this spreadsheet really quick just to show you guys kind of what this looks like, because everyone is telling me that I have to share this with the world. So here is my spreadsheet, my ideal boyfriend profile with all the requirements, how many points, the required, and the nice to have. And then as you go down, you get these in-person and other deductions. And the max score that someone can get is 500. The max score for the required is 340 and the nice to have is 160. And then these are the different stages. So prospect, we're just messaging still in the app. We haven't met yet. A lead, we're texting and talking. Nurture, meeting in person, hanging out. BQL scoring, so they're over 200 points. BQL, boyfriend qualified, over 400 points. Opportunity, dating exclusively. Closed won, boyfriend. Closed lost, bye boy. So I have a tab for 3 different guys in order by how they are doing. So that's it. If anyone wants more, I can make another video and continue going.
No one prepares you for is how much crying you're gonna do when you're finally in a healthy relationship. I was single for like 10 years of my life, and I was dating around, and like I had situationships, I fell in love, got my heart broken, whatever. But I never had anyone consistent for longer than a couple months. So now I'm in a healthy relationship, and I am having a hard time. Like the actual panic and trust issues that are coming up for me of having to allow someone to be in my life and to trust them with my feelings, my emotions, my traumas, all of it is difficult. And so much advice online is saying like, oh, the beginning of a relationship should be really easy, it should be smooth sailing, you shouldn't be having problems, it should be honeymoon phase, etc. But if you're someone that has trauma, PTSD, a history of toxic relationships, a healthy relationship is going to be very difficult for you. But the difference between that and the pain of a toxic relationship is that you are actually healing. Like that intensity and emotion that you're feeling is you learning to open up again and open your heart and trust someone again. And that is a practice. Like it will not happen overnight. So if you're experiencing kind of the intensity of like letting someone in for the first time in a long time, you are not alone. This is a normal experience and it won't last forever. I hope.
Why low quality 40 years old men tend to go for younger women. And it's not because the 40 years olds are really old and we look so horrible and we have lots of baggage. That's not true anymore. There is tons of 40 years olds that look really good nowadays because it's easy to look good nowadays. There is tons of 40 years old that have good jobs, they have their goals and dreams and zero baggage whatsoever. However, you cannot play and manipulate a 40 years old the way you can a 20 years old because the 40 years old has life experience. She can see through your BS, she can see through your red flags. Therefore, it's so much easier to get a 20 years old. And simply, these guys have no choice anymore because you're not good for a 40 years old woman.